find anyone else to be having these type of experiences and being taken up on strange craft and flying around the place. It's been quite a journey. And
中心咧冇咁多嘅 resources 咧，因為你要去證明佢有冇做genetically modify 咧，你其實咧要有嘅。
Welcome back. Well, now I'm going to take you into the bigger picture. And I'm going to start with what the children say, because I believe that that gives us a body of evidence that is quite remarkable and also very convincing. But I'll just start with looking at another one of these amazing young ladies. This particular young lady can actually see through people's bodies, like her eyes can act as X-rays, and she can diagnose illness. There is now at least 1,000 in Mexico children that can see with various parts of their body. And I've actually seen video of a 17-year-old girl that was blindfolded, and they put a newspaper under her feet and she could read the newspaper headlines. There are now many children documented in a book by Paul Dong called China's Super Psychics, and these children have shown incredible abilities, including opening the bud of a flower with their mind. They've been able to move solid objects from one place to another, and been filmed doing it. They have also been shown to be able to actually change the very nature of DNA in a Petri dish. So we've got these children now manifesting all around the world, showing extraordinary psychic abilities, as long as they're not shut down. So Star Kids, let's look at what the children say. I don't mind going through the walls, and I learn more on the ships than I do at school. This is the words of a 5-year-old child in Perth. And he said to his mum, and these are the kinds of beings I see, I will introduce them to you one day. I think the thing that freaked the mother out more than that was that he seemed to be telepathic. And she would say to me, I would think, I will give my son some baked beans for lunch, for example. In my head I would be thinking that, and before I said it, he would say to me, yes, Mum, I'd love baked beans for lunch. And she hadn't said a word. And a lot of these children seem to have telepathic abilities as a child. This is a really interesting one in the sense that it was about a young girl. She was, well, a young toddler. She was only 2 years old. The mother went into the room and found this picture. And this is what she said. A lady came down. She had no hair, no clothes, and took me out of the window and up and up. Her mother asked, who did the drawing? And she said, that's the lady. Now, this was a child that still only had done scribble drawings. Where did it come from? There's a lot of paranormal occurrences with many of these experiences. This was a drawing by a 4-year-old child that said, Mummy, this is the man that comes and gets me. As you notice, there's no ears, there's no hair, there's no nose, there's no mouth. Very, very interesting. A 4-year-old drawing of a ship that he goes on. Notice he's got a triangular ship. He's also drawn an energy field around this ship. Remember, this is a 4-year-old child. What 4-year-old child knows about energy fields? And he said, and he explained the energy field as stopping the people from falling out. And there was some kind of fire underneath. And he's even done a sideways image of it. And he said that was the ship that he used to go on. Now this is an interesting story. For some of you may be aware of Whitley Strieber was an experiencer that wrote the book Communion. He's written many other books about his experiences. The reason that I'm showing you this is because this particular book was in a library of a lady who had an 18-month-old toddler, a little girl. This toddler went up to the library and all the books that were there, and there was one book that she drew out, and it was this one. And she pointed to the face and said, Mummy, that's Clowny. Clowny comes and gets me. She was 18 months old at the time. Now this young lady, whose name is Bianca, talks about Clowny. And let me just tell you some of the things that she says. Clowny sometimes takes me in his spacecraft. The colours are grey and black. I get there because Clowny flies. Not with wings, he floats, which is really interesting. Clowny has an energy field, and he used to scare me, but Mum and Dad said he's my friend. I thought Clowny was stealing me, but he was healing me. Clowny said he would protect everyone in my family, and Clowny's colours are white, yellow, red, pink and blue. Clowny's like a friend to me and takes me away at night. But not so often anymore. He used to take me a lot when I was little, but I think it's because I've seen everything up there already. And this is another one of Clowny. Sorry about the blue background, but this is the original of, again, she's talking about Clowny and showing his energy field. What child knows of energy fields? This is her brother. Now her brother sees angels as well as Clowny. He's drawn Clowny there, and notice that he's got 3 digits instead of 5, and that the feet look all sort of wobbly and floaty. And that's the little spacecraft he goes up to see Clowny. Neither child is frightened of the experience at all now. They think it's quite normal. And the mother herself has had many, many experiences. What was interesting about this young boy was he used to take a book to bed, and this is the one called Transformation. The mother said, what was a 5-year-old boy wanting to take this to bed with him for? And she noticed that her son used to scan the book with his hand and could not understand why he would do it. And then she noticed that he would give it to his sister for another night. And she also took it and did the same thing. What was fascinating, though, was one morning they both came down with a book. She can't explain it. This is another being that a 10-year-old child actually sent me the day after she had the experience. It appeared in her room. This one has a flat head and has this strange implement in its hand. And many other children have drawn this kind of a being and also that strange implement. These are very interesting because this isn't the kind of thing that you see on the television. This is a 13-year-old's drawing of 2 of the beings that she sees. Notice the flat head with some of them, and also the normal egg-shaped head of the other beings. Again, children corroborating their own experiences with other children from different locations. This is a particularly interesting one because this was a family of 2 brothers. One was 11 and one was 13. They both spoke about an experience they had the previous night. This is the drawing from the younger brother, and he's drawn the being there, as you see, up to the left. He's also drawn what looks like an auditorium. He also talks about the craft that landed, and I'll just explain what he said.